And now it's really my pleasure to welcome the Reverend Linda Hart Green to our pulpit. She has spoken to us before, which we enjoyed very much. Linda has a very rich resume, which is found in your order of service. I'm not going to read it all, but I'm particularly interested in her second career as art. She's a partner in Shady Ladies Art Studio in Fernandina Beach. That one I have to ask you more about, Linda. Okay, it sounds so interesting. But she served pastorates in New Jersey, received her education from Princeton, and she has an advanced certificate in pastoral leadership development. She's married to Reverend Harry Green, who happens to be with us this morning. Hi, Harry. And they're currently living in Fernandina, where they're members of the New Vision Church there in Yulee. So help me to welcome Linda Hart Green to the podium.
Hello, friends. And Donna, it's actually not as shady as it sounds. Our first location as a group was under the shade of a 400-year-old oak tree, and so we were standing around thinking about what to call ourselves, and we thought acorns, nah, twigs, branches, and then, of course, I came up with Shady Ladies, and the slight, take it however you want it, and we're rather proud of that designation now. Beauty beyond what meets the eye. As many of you know, the Soul Matters theme for the month is beauty. For those here or elsewhere on streaming live or in Fernandina or in other locations, Soul Matters is a UU curriculum of resources that you are part of with 145 other congregations to reflect, to have small group content, RE content, and explore these themes together. I think it's a wonderful idea. I will confess I had to educate my husband about that. He said, "What's the Soul Matters thing?" So it's partially for him. But when you heard this theme announced, did you think, okay, we UUs are going to spend a month talking about beauty. The world is coming apart at the seams. Each day brings stunning news of corruption and infighting and violence, and that's in our country. The globe is plagued by so many problems, and we're going to talk about beauty? Really? Now, I'm not saying all of you thought that, but just in case even a few of you did, I thought maybe I should address that. And I thought to myself now, how could I address that? Well, I found my response in a very reliable theological resource, the Sunday Comics. My favorite is Pearls Before Swine. Yes. Obviously, by the slight groan, you know it's very tongue-in-cheek. If you saw last Sunday's strip, it began with the depiction of a speaker on a podium in front of an audience saying, "Hey, everybody, be outraged about this thing I want you to be outraged about." And the whole crowd goes, "Outrage!" And then another speaker addresses the crowd and says, "You need to be outraged about this thing I want you to be outraged about." And the whole crowd goes, "Outrage!" And this goes on and on and on until suddenly all of the people fall down and fall asleep. And the speakers look at each other and say, "Why are they so apathetic?" We're not apathetic. We're exhausted. We're exhausted. We have outrage fatigue. Let me speak for myself here. I have outrage fatigue, or I certainly have had some from time to time, say over the last 2 years. Anybody else? Outrage fatigue? Right. And you know, yous are such good activists and workers. Sometimes you spend your whole lives in outrage fatigue, just trying to keep ahead of the next social justice issue. You have to step back, regroup, recharge. Otherwise, you'll burn out and be ineffective. Because have you ever heard anyone say, "I'm exhausted from too much beauty. I spent the whole day in the woods observing the splendors of nature and I'm pooped. I went to the beach and I listened to the lull of the ocean's waves and I'm exhausted. It rained this evening and then there was a lovely rainbow and a gorgeous sunset. I just can't take it." Never. We're not exhausted by beauty. It enriches us. So, a whole month on the theme of beauty? Yes, please. Now for a poll. You know I like participation. Think about your response. This is how you can respond. With your hand up if you agree, part way up if you halfway agree or aren't sure, down if you're not sure, rather, and arms crossed if you disagree. Ready? Here's the question, or that statement. Very familiar. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Think. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Okay, lots of agreement. Some crossed out. Okay. No crossed arms? 1, 2, few. Okay. Did you know we have the philosopher and activist Bertrand Russell to thank for this statement? I didn't know until I started researching this sermon. It's in his book, What is an Agnostic? True confessions, I didn't look up the quote any further. I had to read Bertrand Russell in philosophy in college, and that was hard. And so if any of you are more philosophers than I am and want to know that exact reference, please look it up for me, because I'm not going to do it. Here's my response. Ready? I disagree. I firmly disagree, and this is why. I believe beauty is its own reality. Beauty is its own reality. It exists if we appreciate it or not, whether we notice it or not. The universe splurges with glorious abandon for the joy of it, for the sake of it, for its own sake. Sean Dennison Parker, who wrote this month's Soul Matters, says, "Beauty is the artistic force of the universe that is constantly painting us, pulling the elegance out of us and in the world." That's an interesting thought, isn't it? As you immerse yourself in beauty, you can become more beautiful. Forget cosmetics. Beauty is an inside job. Beauty is an inside job. Now, obviously, Donna and I collaborated because you're going to hear several Mary Oliver poems today. She left us way too soon earlier this year. She expressed this thought, Poem of the One World. This morning, the beautiful white heron was floating along above the water, and then into the sky of this one world we all belong to, where everything sooner or later is part of everything else, which thought made me, for a little while, feel quite beautiful myself. So let's not have a superficial understanding of what beauty is. Let's think now about what it means to be a people of beauty. That's one of the calls to you from this curriculum, to put yourself in the place of all of these theme words, how to be a people of ... beauty. I was thinking about how to present this to you, and I came up with 4 what I think are fairly practical steps. So as I was reading more, I felt very honored to hear that Mary Oliver came up with 3 steps, and they really paralleled what I came up with. So I'm on solid ground telling you mine. Here are mine. Awareness, which I call simply wake up. Wake up. Curiosity, which I call that's interesting. Awe and appreciation, number 3, which I call how cool. And invitation to community, which I call come see. Wake up, that's interesting, how cool, come see. Little mnemonic device saying with me, wake up, that's interesting, how cool, come see. Mary Oliver's are pay attention, be astonished, and tell about it. I think in the awareness part, you got my thoughts on this in the message for all ages, didn't you? We've allowed technology to come between us and the world. In fact, Mary Oliver says again, paying attention is our proper work in the world. Paying attention is our proper work in the world. Every major religion, and I know as you draw wisdom from every major religion in the world says paying attention is the first step in spiritual awareness and awakening. Now, awareness has a cost. However, numbness and oblivion have a cost. A lot. They cost you excitement, discovery, spontaneity, joy. We all have our own ways of paying attention, don't we? Here's a case in point from my marriage. Uh-oh. Now it's been said that if you live with a preacher, you have the right to remain silent because anything you say and do may be used in a sermon. Harry knows I'm likely to slip in an anecdote, but I often warn him and I almost never embarrass him. We were still dating and we lived up near the Hudson River in New York. We spent a Saturday at the Storm King Center for the Arts. You're shaking your head. You know of it. It's near Kingston, New York. And it's a big grounds where Alexander Calder sculptures are located. And the area is so large, you need a map to find all the sculptures. It was a beautiful day. Clouds were skittering across the sky. Harry had the map, and he was leading the way, looking at the map. I was looking at the sky. And can you guess what happened next? I walked right into his back. Yeah. So are you a cloud gazer like me? Or are you a map person? Are you familiar with your style of paying attention? Can you make friends with it? Here's what Mary Oliver says. Every day I see or hear something that more or less kills me with delight, that leaves me like a needle in the haystack of light. It was what I was born for, to look, to listen, to lose myself inside this soft world. You know, I didn't know until recently that Mary Oliver had a very difficult childhood. Did you know that about her? She was sexually abused by her father and neglected by her mother. So that's what she did. She escaped into the natural world to find comfort there among the woodland creatures and write about it. And she did this ceaselessly for 83 years. And we are the benefactors of all of that. So we don't really have an excuse, do we? If she could pay attention, so can we. Curiosity. That's cool. Don't you just love seeing a child crouched on their haunches looking at a bug? We're not supposed to lose that. We're not supposed to lose that. Now, I'm going to get a little biblical on you here. That's what Jesus means when he says, enter God's kingdom like a child. Not all that other stuff that people put on that. Being born again simply means that. Here's a great nugget from Wendell Berry. The mind that is not baffled is not employed. The impeded stream is the one that sings. Isn't that beautiful? Take that home with you, will you? Wake up. That's interesting. How cool. Appreciative hearts are open hearts. Appreciative hearts are open hearts. Once again, all the world's religions emphasize awe and appreciation. Even the formidable St. Augustine says that if the only prayer you ever pray is thank you, that's enough. Did you know that if you practice gratitude and appreciation every day, it'll actually change the wiring of your brain? Who doesn't need a blast of serotonin in these outrageous times? I know I do. Lastly, invitation. Come see. Tell about it. Beauty is meant to be shared. Beauty is meant to be shared. Here's a little nugget for you, though. If you go blathering along about your latest observation at a party, you're not going to be very popular. Best to wait for the teachable moment, the open door, the quizzical look. But then, whether or not the other person responds is on them. Your job is to invite, to share, to bear witness to the beauty that you know to be everywhere. A very dear friend of mine practiced her skill as a watercolorist in the Brooklyn Botanic Garden. She would take her supplies and a little canvas stool and set up shop and paint. One day in the fall, she was painting a seed pod that had bent over and the edges were wrinkled. A passerby said, "Why in the world are you painting that?" To her credit, she did not dismiss this person or just tell them to go away. She said, "Come, let me show you what I see." And surprisingly, the person stepped closer. So point by point, my friend showed her beauty in the colors and contours of a dying seed pod. The other person begrudgingly acknowledged that, yes, indeed, there was something beautiful there. However, she didn't buy the painting. Wake up. That's interesting. How cool. Come, see. Simple steps to becoming a people of beauty. You can try them or not. Oh, there is so much more than enough to be outraged about these days. We need some tools to fend off the exhaustion that can cause and take some beauty breaks. And if you're puzzled by some aspect of your life, don't get frustrated. Get curious. Allow the impeded stream to sing to you. And at the very least, put some of your energy into paying attention. For indeed, it is your proper work in the world. Blessed be.